Wherever you have friends, that's your country. And wherever you receive love, that's your home. And Desmond Tutu said in the same book, when we see others as part of us, as connected, as interdependent, then there is no challenge that we cannot face together. I'm Sue Gately, and with Chris Van Wadelen, I co-chair the Pastoral Ministry Associates here at DUUC. We welcome you to our service, especially those who are searching for a spiritual home. Many of us were once seeking for something larger than ourselves, where we could belong, a sense of rootedness to hold us as we create meaning together. We do that well here, not perfectly. In this congregation, we strive not for perfection, I can't even say the word, but for authenticity and connection. Today's service is being offered by the Pastoral Ministry Associates of DUUC. We're known as PMA, and we're lay members who have undergone specialized training in pastoral care. Reverend Tom works closely with us, providing consultation and collaboration. Together, we meet the pastoral needs of the congregation and the friends of the church. In addition, TLC, the Tender Loving Care volunteers, provide practical help like rides and meals to members of our church during a crisis. And we have Caring Connections. Those volunteers help members who have difficulty getting to church to stay connected at their home. The PMA group are often called upon to stand alongside someone to offer emotional support in the times of pain, sickness, or various life challenges. We make visits to members in need and stay in touch by phone and with cards. Requests for support are handled with discretion and confidentiality, and often happen behind the scenes of the everyday life of our church. Today, we hope to share with you some of what we've learned about care and connection in our community, and to further expand the opportunities for each of us to minister each other in times of our need. I invite you now to rise, embody your spirit, and join us in saying our mission statement, which is printed in the order of service and projected to your left. Please remain standing for our first hymn. We gather as an inclusive community to grow in character, mind, and spirit, and to transform the world for fairness, love, and compassion. Now we'll sing hymn 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
I am me. In all the world, there is no one exactly like me. Everything that comes out of me is authentically mine because I alone choose it. I own everything about me: my body, my feelings, my mouth, my voice, my actions, whether they be to others or to myself. I own my fantasies, my dreams, my hopes, my fears. How I look and sound, whatever I say or do, and whatever I feel and think at a given moment is authentically me. If later some parts of how I looked, sounded, thought, and felt turn out to be unfitting, I can discard that which is unfitting and keep the rest. Invent something new for which I discarded. I can see, hear, feel, think, say, and do. I have the tools to survive, to be close to others, to be productive, and to make sense and order out of the world of people and things outside of me. I own me, and therefore I can engineer me. I am me, and I am okay.
This passage was from a piece that was written by psychotherapist Virginia Satir. It sounds very Unitarian Universalist, affirming individualism, anchoring the ownership of each person within themselves. Yet, Unitarian Universalism cannot just be about individualism. It must be about community as well. Otherwise, an essential element of what it means to be part of a congregation, of this congregation, for instance, is lost. We are all in this chaotic, often stressful, sometimes inexplicable world together. I believe that I can be complete in and of myself, and yet still be enriched, educated, and broadened by my interactions with others. That is, in fact, one of the benefits of being a Unitarian Universalist in a Unitarian Universalist church. Our church of the open mind and open heart. I am me and I am okay, but with others' perspectives, others' support, others' love, I have more choices about how I choose to shape my behaviors, how I might re-engineer myself. My interactions with others in this safe space helps me figure out what fits within me, supports me if I find I need to discard what doesn't fit anymore, and offers me opportunities to discover new things to replace those that I've discarded. I firmly believe I need others to walk with me, to listen to me as I reflect on the various challenges I face. And I need to hear others' caring, compassionate, loving words to support me when I falter. I don't need anyone to fix me, but I do want people to share their ideas, beliefs, and experiences with me. We affirm in our new member ceremony the relationships that we form in our church are based on needs of the soul, needs that render each of us vulnerable and therefore reliant on each other's grace, goodness, and generosity of spirit. I encourage you to let me PMA, and others within this congregation know when you are struggling physically, mentally, emotionally, in need of a shoulder to cry on or an ear to listen, so that you can discern your next steps. When your coping tools are blunted or broken, we're here as your church family to help you and support you until you can resharpen or replace your tools again.
I don't know, three funerals in 2 weeks. Why do things like that happen to me? I'm feeling so bad that I couldn't get to Arizona for my cousin Molly's funeral. She was a good friend before she moved to Arizona, and I've just lost touch, and now I didn't even know she was sick, and all of a sudden she's dead, and I can't afford to go to her funeral because we're maxed out on the credit cards. I can't put a plane ticket on the credit card. And then there were the 2 other funerals. Is there anything worse than a Catholic Mass funeral? You just sit there in your tight shoes and your dress that you hardly ever wear and wait for it to be over. And then when it is over, of course, everybody is feeling the same way you do, so we're all drinking a lot.
I hear you.
Except I couldn't because of John. John's on the wagon, so I'm not drinking with him either. And it's just changed everything.
I'm here for you.
Why does it happen like that, that you have all these funerals, all these people that you care about die all at once? I can't figure it out.
You are not alone.
Sometimes when we choose or are called to be present with one another in a time of need, there is very little action that needs to be taken, very few words that need to be said. We simply offer to hold space for the other. In the skit we just saw, Elaine, witnessing the emotional distress that Carolyn was expressing, simply sat with her, made eye contact, nodded her head, and gently held space. She held the space for Carolyn and let Carolyn know she was here for her with her body language and her breath. When we hold space for one another, we open our hearts, offer unconditional support, and let go of judgment and control. Heather Plett, who has written about holding space, lists a variety of ways we can offer this to one another. She says this: holding space means we create containers of safety and support where deconstruction, gestation, and rebirth can unfold organically. We give people permission to trust their own intuition and wisdom. We allow them to make decisions that feel right for them, even if these decisions don't make sense to us. We offer gentle words and encouragement. We let them know we walk beside them in this trying time. We let them know, I am here for you. You are not alone.
"18 months ago, I reached out to our community in a time of needs through our Joys and Concerns page on Facebook. I shared that Kurt and I were ending our marriage, and it was really hard to reach out. I didn't know what people's reactions would be. Kurt and I were married here. We raised our children here. We were both active in this congregation. Kurt would be leaving, and I would be staying. And I asked that our community hold both of us. And I shared that neither of us wanted to talk at great length about what was happening because we were tender, but we needed support, and that we were trying to do this with one another with dignity and love. Today, what I want to share with you is how lovingly I have been held by you. I had an outpouring of responses to my Joys and Concerns post, letting me know that I was not alone and that the community could support both of us as we separated. The first day I came back to church after sharing my post, I was wrapped in hugs that needed no words, texts from friends, cards from PMA members letting me know that they were here for me. And Kurt and I received some cards together, letting us know that we were both being supported. Rev Tom called both Kurt and I and asked how we were and to check to see how the community could be there for both of us, because Kurt needed to say goodbye and I needed to find a new way to stay. I have never been asked by anyone what happened between us, and no one has given their opinion or their advice. I have simply been held by all of you and loved and given the space that I needed to heal. And I am so grateful, and I thank you.
There's a flame in the darkness, burning deep within our hearts, in the love that grows between us. This is where the journey starts. There is hope in the stillness. There is solace in our friends, in the love that grows between us. This is where the isolation ends. Come full circle in a moment. Hold no shame in what you feel. This old world will keep keep on turning, and our broken hearts will heal. When the rain falls around you like a solitary tear, in the love that flows between us, know that thunder holds no fear. In the struggle you hold sacred, when the arrows pierce you through, in the love that flows between us, may your courage be renewed. There is music in each silence. There is promise in each day. In the love that holds between us, may we always find our way. Come full circle in a moment. Hold no shame in what you feel. This old world will keep on turning, and our broken hearts will heal. There's a flame in the darkness, burning deep within our hearts. In the love that grows between us, this is where the journey starts. There is hope in the stillness. There is solace in our friends, and in the love flows between us. Sacred journey never ends. Yes, in the love that holds between us, sacred journey.
Unlike fathers of another age, many fathers today try to connect with their children. For several years, a male friend of mine, let's call him John, had been struggling with issues of connecting with his son, and we'll call him John Jr. John is a psychotherapist. He brought up John Jr. as he thought best. He himself hadn't had the greatest of male role models. But he tried to connect with John Jr., being more expressive of his own feelings, being more nurturing to his son, by being more attentive than his own father had been to him. He tried to teach John Jr. that it was okay to express his feelings. And so John Jr. grew up, got a really good job, married a wife who loved him dearly. They had a bouncing baby boy, and he was even able to purchase a new home for his growing family. John Jr.'s life was great. He was moving in the right direction. Everything was going well. Then John Jr. had an affair that blew his life apart. He devastated his wife, who divorced him. And John Jr.'s whole family, extended family, everyone felt the pain from this catastrophic event. And he felt so much guilt that he was almost unable to function. For some months, John Jr. could not put his life back together. He could not express his feelings. He isolated, unable to connect with anyone, family, friends. One day, John asked John Jr. to help him build a fort for his grandchildren. The two men, father and emotionally injured son, began to build. They hammered and nailed and sweated and worked, and a spark of connection began to grow. As the walls of the fort went up, the walls of reserve between them came down. John Jr. began to talk about his feelings as they worked, and John Jr. began to heal. They were able to end the day as comfortable companions, connected and unguarded with each other. Side by side intimacy, father and son working together, helping John Jr. open up and begin to heal. Sometimes people, and most often those who identify as cis males, are not able to work through their emotions directly, in other words, face to face, even if they've had positive experiences expressing their emotions. And that's true for many of us, not just cis males. Side-by-side intimacy can be one effective way to connect, to share, to heal. It's a method that works well in congregational settings, too. We have ample opportunities here for side-to-side intimacy. In our affinity groups, in our committees, even the mundane work of moving chairs around or putting together potlucks, coffee hours. These task-focused times can offer us opportunities to get to know each other, to share what we believe and think about things, what's going on in our lives, both the joys and the concerns, and to connect with each other. It's in the interactions we have with one another side by side that community is built, that lives are shared, and that compassion and healing can happen. Your pastoral ministers and your minister can help too, but it's the small, seemingly innocuous interactions you have with one another that are the most important things in this church. They are the smallest roots of the tree. The large taproot is important, yes, but without the small lateral roots and the millions of tiny root hairs, all bringing in nutrients, sustenance, if they don't bring them in, the tree will die. Never, my friends, never think that your interactions here are unimportant. You are the means through which the oxygen and nutrients that the tree, this community, needs to survive and to thrive.
We are Hello? We are Threshold Singers. The Threshold Choir is an international organization of people who volunteer to sing at bedside, in hospice, in hospitals, in nursing homes, rehabilitation centers, and in private homes. We sing we mostly sing music that is original to Threshold Choir in groups of 3 and 4 at the bedsides. Today we will sing 2 of the Threshold songs we usually sing at bedside. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. I walk the path with you. Go slow, dear one, don't hurry. I'll go just like you need to go. There is no need to worry. We are sending you light to heal you, to hold you. We are sending you light to hold you in love. You are loved, deeply loved. You are a well-cherished garden. You are loved, deeply loved. You are a treasured child. All your life, all your days, from the very first moment of being, you've been loved, greatly loved. You are loved.
I want to thank the pastoral ministers here for putting this service together, working with me on this. It's important for me to say that the work of PMA is often unseen, sending cards to people when they're sick or on their birthday, visiting people in hospitals, making calls, interacting with other ministries like TLC and Caring Connections. They keep in regular contact with one another and with me about how people in this church are doing and how we're caring for them. They have a weekly on-call team of volunteers to make sure that there's always someone who's keeping a close eye on the needs of this community. I think it's important for me to let you know that the members of this church will not always be told what PMA is doing or how people in the church are doing. You see, PMA and I reach out to anyone who is struggling or needing some support, and that person may not want us to tell you all or anything, and we will respect their wishes. You may wonder sometimes if PMA is even helping some person that you're concerned about in this community. If you're concerned, please reach out to me or to them. Let us know. But don't expect that we'll get back to you and tell you what we did or how the person is doing. We give the person we are helping full control of the flow of information to the congregation about their condition. And there are a few other things I want to mention that are for you to help you feel connected to this congregation. Things that some people may know, and we have new members here who may not. First, if you are homebound, if you are unable to come to Sunday service, and you have a computer and internet access, you can live stream the service. You can still be part of this community even when you aren't able to be here in person. If you want to live stream, you can go to the church's webpage. There's a link on the church webpage. You click on it to the YouTube page, and it'll take you right to the DUC YouTube page, and you can find out how to live stream our services. Or you can click on the YouTube page for DUC. Both of those pieces of information are in your orders of service, so you can have that. The directions are fairly easy. But if you need some help, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or any of the members of our team. And for those of you who don't know, we do have a Joys and Concerns Facebook page for any member or friend of this congregation to share what is on their heart. Now, this is a closed page just for the members of this congregation. The Facebook page is a place where you can say what is on your heart. If you're in pain or struggling or sad and you need support, you can write about it and we will respond. And if you have a joy, something that's really something you want to celebrate with this community, you can share it there, and we will celebrate with you. For those of you who may get on the Facebook page, the Joys and Concerns Facebook page, and you see someone in pain or hurt, and they put something on there, and you don't know what to say in response, you can just say, "You're not alone," or "I love you," or "I'm thinking of you." Something simple makes a world of difference. And finally, we do share joys and concerns here in this community during the service on the first and third Sundays of the month. Sue?
Chris, my caring and effective co-chair, is out of town this week, but we would like to take a few minutes to recognize those who provide the support to our church members and our friends. Our special appreciation goes to our trained and loving pastoral care associates and to Reverend Tom for his direction to PMA. Our thanks also go to the Tender Loving Care Group, who are setting up rides and meals for members who need extra support because of an illness or something that's going on in their lives. And to the Caring Connections, who are helping those homebound people who really want to stay connected with our church. So if you're helping with PMA or TLC or Caring Connections, please stand. standing for just a minute, okay. Ingrid Marshall, Edna Groves, Elaine, Lori, Holly, Robert, Carolyn, Linnell, and way back there in the back we have Karen and Cheryl. So thank you all for whatever you're doing to help us. It really makes a difference to our community. And as we said earlier, sometimes it's behind the scenes, so you don't even know that they're involved in this activity. So thank you very much. I would like to also thank all of you, because without you supporting our community, our little effort will not happen. There's a quote I'd like to share. Our listening creates a sanctuary for the homeless parts within a person. So please try this very simple exercise with me. You remember, well, us old Protestants used to do inside. Okay, well, today we're not doing inside. We're putting our fingers outside, okay? And you clasp those hands together, press your thumbs across the top, and note that your hands are thoroughly connected. And there's an open space between your palms. That represents the sheltered space that you can invite other church members into, where you can listen to them and they can feel your care and your compassion. We thank each of you for providing that space of shelter for people at our church, for helping them feel cared for and heard. The Dalai Lama said, "Take care of others. Helping others ultimately is the way to discover your joy and the way to a happy life." I encourage you all to provide that sheltered space to others, to care for each other, and to continue to create the joy here at DUUC. I have one more little celebration. You know, we do joys and concerns. And so I want you to join me in saying happy birthday to Reverend Tom. I'm sure he has other ways to celebrate today besides this. Now we'd like to take the offering for the church. This church is more than a building, it is a place to create a beloved community. Thanks for all you do to support the church and the fellowship within these walls. The morning offering for this church will now be given and received.
Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. Belonging is the innate human desire to be a part of something larger than oneself. Because this yearning is so primal, we often try to acquire it by fitting in and seeking approval, which are not only hollow substitutes for belonging, but often barriers to it. True belonging only happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our sense of self-acceptance. Connection is why we are here. It is what gives purpose and meaning to our lives. It is the energy that is created between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they give and receive without judgment.
Sometime in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long. I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, no one can fill those of your needs that you can let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong. And I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. For it won't be long.
Won't be too long.
I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem when you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can carry, I'm right up the road, and I'll share your load. If you just call me, friend,
Call me.
call me.
Call me.
If you need a friend,
Call me.
call me.
Call me.
Call me.
Call me.
If you need a friend,
Call me.
call me.
I encourage you to turn around and greet one another, especially those you don't know, and meet our PMA as you go out.